What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. We've got another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero in-depth analysis in regards to the recent Sparking Zero trailer. Similar to the last trailer where we covered the Saiyan Saga and the Namek Saga, this trailer focuses entirely on the Android Saga. So we've got a bunch of new characters to focus on here today, a bunch of new movesets, a bunch of new fighting combos. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a look at all of this stuff and seeing what we can look forward to when Sparking Zero drops within the next 2 months. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys are hyped for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell if you want to be updated with all types of Dragon Ball content. Going into the very first part of the trailer, we are welcomed here to Future Trunks. We do see him in his base form and in his Super Saiyan form. This is Future Trunks with his sword. Obviously, we have Future Trunks in his melee version and then Future Trunks with his sword version. This Trunks right here, we do see him fighting Mecha Frieza and King Cold, two characters that are newly confirmed to the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero roster, and that's really exciting. And I personally thought it was an insane scene to see Trunks basically throw his sword all the way up in the air and he catches it behind him. It's just really cool to introduce him into his first fight. We do see here Trunks basically piecing up Frieza. We have seen Future Trunks in the Master vs. Apprentice trailer, but we actually have not seen a lot of the movesets that Future Trunks will have, and this is one of the very first introductions that we do get to his movesets, and this is definitely his ultimate attack, with no question, when he's slicing up Frieza, and then he blasts him away at the end. It's just really awesome. We aren't really shown a lot of the gameplay for Mecha Frieza or King Cold. I'm pretty sure they just show them there to show that they're confirmed and they're a part of the character roster, so nothing to really go into for that. Next, we are shown to the next portion of the Android Saga, being Dr. Gero and Android 19's official reveal. We already seen a lot of the Dr. Gero gameplay within the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero demo, so there's not really too much to take from that. We can look into Android 19 though, and something that you notice right off the bat when it comes to Android 19 is that he does have energy absorption, and that is definitely going to consist of, grabbing your opponent the same way it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. You grab your opponent, you take some of his energy, and it applies to your health and stuff like that. Obviously, they're going to lose health from it as well. That was definitely Android 19's ultimate, so it's pretty cool to see that they're implementing that ultimate for him here in Sparking Zero as well. We see Vegeta piecing up Android 19, and then we are welcome to Vegeta versus all three androids. Android 16, Android 17, and Android 18. This does take up 2 more character slots within the character roster, being Android 17 from Dragon Ball Z, and then Android 16, who is a character that hasn't been confirmed yet. We aren't really shown that much with Android 17. He basically just throws 2 consecutive ki blasts here at Piccolo. It is a move that he does have in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I'm pretty sure they're basically going to consist this version of Android 17 with the Android 17 that we see when he fights Piccolo in the main timeline, and then the Android 17 that we see fight Future Gohan in the History of Trunks special. Next, we are welcome to another character. Now, while this is a character that we know was confirmed prior to it, this is a separate distinction, and this is Piccolo fused with Kami, which is very interesting. This is perpendicular to how it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, at least for the most part. In Budokai Tenkaichi 3, if you look at the character roster specifically, it does say we do have a Piccolo early and then a Piccolo end. Piccolo end is preferably referring to this version of Piccolo that we see here that is fused with Kami. We do see here Piccolo using his Hell Zone grenade, which just looks absolutely phenomenal. We can just never forget this iconic scene when he uses it on Android 17, which is arguably one of the most underrated fights within the entire Dragon Ball Z series. The next portion of the trailer, we are shown to the main android of this saga, being Cell. We see Cell in his first form basically piecing up Piccolo a little bit, and by piecing him up, I do mean he's taking some of his energy. We are shown a quick scene here of Android 16 using his Hell's Flash, which is his ultimate in every Dragon Ball Z game that he's in. Very cool. He would have damaged Cell pretty well if Cell didn't sneak up behind 17 in the anime and absorb him then. And speaking of Cell absorbing Android 17, we are shown the actual absorption scene where Cell absorbs Android 17 and then obviously goes to his second form, or semi-perfect Cell. It's very cool. This animation is actually not incorporated within the story. This animation specifically is definitely incorporated within the actual transformation scenery. If you guys don't know, the way it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, you would basically see Cell looking around the map, he would see an android, he would go dive into the android, absorb them, and then he would transform. Similar to how we see all the Saiyans have their own graphic scenes when they transform into a Super Saiyan. When it comes to Cell, we basically have this whole scene where he basically finds the android, he sneaks up on them, he absorbs them, and then he obviously transforms. We see a basic normal ki blast here from Semi-Perfect Cell, but actually something I do want to get into here is Tien. Tien. Now, while this is a character that's already confirmed for the character roster, we do see how Tien is basically doing his Neo Tri-Beam, and you basically see him doing it a consistent amount of times rather than just doing it once, which is rather interesting because that is a feature that was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. You can choose between doing it once or doing it twice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, and each time you would actually do it, it would drain some of Tien's health. So it's safe to say that that's going to be the same consistency within Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Next, we have Vegeta basically piecing up semi-perfect Cell until Cell obviously absorbs Android 18 and becomes perfect Cell. We see a scene here with Vegeta doing his final flash, nothing too big here. And straight after that, we are welcome to the final portions of the Android saga, being the Cell games. I like how they had to take out Mr. Satan versus Cell. They just didn't want to incorporate that part in the trailer, but whatever, we move on. We see a gorgeous scene here of Goku using his instant Kamehameha. This is obviously Goku End, or not Goku Mid. You know, this is definitely Goku End. That's how it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And, you know, Goku Mid obviously has the angry Kamehameha incorporated in his moveset. This is definitely Goku End because his ultimate will obviously be the instant Kamehameha or the warp Kamehameha, whatever you want to call it as. And it just looks absolutely gorgeously done here on Cell. It literally looks just like the way it was within the anime. Now, straight afterwards, we are welcome to another character within the character roster, being Teen Gohan. I didn't say Youth Gohan because in this game, they are actually referring to him as Teen Gohan, which is actually quite cool. We see base form Teen Gohan transform into Super Saiyan, and he uses his forward triangle combo, or whatever you do on Xbox as well, to attack Cell, and it looks like an absolutely gorgeous combo, literally the exact same way that it was within Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It's very, very exciting. I literally can't ever get over the fact on how they're readapting these same moves from Budokai Tenkaichi 3 to give you the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 feel to it, but you know, they also add it to different graphics and, you know, different scenery, so it feels like a completely, totally different game. Next, we are welcome to the Cell Juniors. We do see the Cell Juniors piecing up a little bit of the Z Fighters, piecing up Tien here a little bit, also piecing up Krillin right here as well. I'm pretty sure the Cell Juniors are going to consist of random small moves from our heroes, like the Special Beam Cannon, the Kamehameha, the Tri-Beam, moves like that, nothing too big. And then we are welcome here to Android 16, basically attempting his self-destruct right behind Cell, which again was a move that he also pulled off within Budokai Tenkaichi 3. So it seems like Android 16, for the most part, will have the same moveset that he did within Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Next, we are shown here to probably the hypest part of the trailer for me. We have Teen Gohan finally transforming into Super Saiyan 2 on Perfect Cell. We do see Teen Gohan straight away piecing up the Cell Juniors one by one, and it's actually quite interesting because the movesets that we do see him using here was not in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. They've basically added movesets for Teen Gohan that is perpendicular to the anime for when Gohan first transformed into Super Saiyan 2 and completely demolished the Cell Juniors. From there, though, we are also shown a scene where Gohan delivers the 2 blows on Perfect Cell that completely rock his ancestors in the anime. Again, this is also, from what it looks like, seemingly to be according to his character set, so Gohan is probably going to have a different consistency of the moves that he actually has within this game compared to the way it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Within Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Gohan obviously had the father-son Kamehameha, which is something we'll get into here in a minute. He had the determined Kamehameha or something like that, and then obviously he had basically a barrage of Ki Blast that he would throw. These 2 moves that we do see, or these 2 rush attacks that we clearly see Gohan use, is obviously not within Budokai Tenkaichi 3, so it's really cool to see how they're adding something new for Teen Gohan. Speaking of that Kamehameha, they do also add that same Kamehameha for Teen Gohan, where he basically stands still and then he just fires a Kamehameha right away. That is arguably one of my most favorite Kamehameha moments in all of Dragon Ball Z. You know, when Gohan was basically standing still when Cell is about to destroy the earth, and then he just bounces back the entire Kamehameha right away. Just a beautiful and amazing scene as a whole. Then we see this amazing scene here. This scene right here is actually not a part of any sort of fighting gameplay. This is actually a scene that'll be incorporated within the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero story, where Goku obviously sees that Cell's about to blow up the earth. He sacrifices his life and evidently dies in order to make up for Gohan's arrogance. I think this scene does a very good job showing the depth depth of Gohan and Goku's relationship here. Like, it's just very special when Goku waves goodbye to Gohan. It's just awesome to see. Next, we're shown here to the final portion of the character trailer. We do see Super Perfect Cell charging up his solar system Kamehameha. Considering that this is Super Perfect Cell, that would confirm another slot in the character roster. And then we see Gohan charging up the father-son Kamehameha. Probably so far my favorite ultimate that I've seen so far within Sparking Zero. It just looks absolutely amazing, and the dialogue just hits this scene a lot more when you actually watch the full trailer. Gohan charges it up all the way, releases it on Cell into a beam struggle, and then the clash wraps up the trailer right there. From there, we are welcome to a whole other list of characters. I'm pretty sure this is really expected based off of the recent V-Gem skins that we did get not too long ago. So I assume it probably wasn't too surprising for a lot of you. Either way, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I don't really enjoy the fact that they are adding two separate distinctions between the Piccolos that we do see within the game, and then obviously being Android 17 from Dragon Ball Z and then Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super. I think it's sort of a waste of a character slot, especially when it comes to Android 17. But, you know, I'm not necessarily in control of that. Maybe they're just really trying to keep it redundant to the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game. If that's the case, then obviously I have no complaints about that. This is a continuation of the Budokai Tenkaichi series. But if there's anything that I'm excited for the most, it's that Teen Gohan is finally confirmed for the character roster, and we do have an immense amount of gameplay in regards to him as well. He was my main within Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and I'm excited to use him again when Dragon Ball Sparking Zero drops. Something that I did also want to point out is that Future Trunks is also incorporated within the character roster in his base form in terms of Melee Future Trunks. So I don't know why they didn't really show him in the character trailer. They could have sneaked him in there a little bit, but I guess they didn't see a point in doing so. Either way, they did my boy a little bit dirty, but it's okay. We move. But yeah, no, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys thought about this trailer down in the comment section below. Chances are the next trailer that we do get will cover the entire Majin Buu saga. Let me know in the comments down below what you think we will actually get from the Majin Buu saga as a whole. I'd love to hear that from you guys as well. But yeah, no, that's basically all I have for today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Hit that like button if you guys really did enjoy this video. It really always helps me out. Comment W's in the chat if you guys are absolutely hyped for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.